What's up, good YouTube? Today, I don't really do reactions, but we'll be reacting to Llama arts. I don't have a face cam, so I have to just voice over the whole video. So, yeah, the Playhouse.
We live on several acres in rural Indiana, USA. Our neighbors aren't too far apart, but we all live on a lot of property. On our properties, we have a lot of trees, and our neighbor doesn't maintain their property well, so a lot of it's overgrown. You know, a couple of fallen trees and a lot of downed branches. We knew the state of their property was probably because it was an older couple that owned the house and the property was vast. We have a creek separating our homes as well, but a small strip of their property is accessible from our—
Alright, pause right here. Y'all see how like creek got like a little dent in it? Now, what if somebody falls in the creek? Now what? Well, like it might not have a dent in it, but that's what I'm saying.
backyard. Due to the overgrowth in trees, we weren't able to see much of their property when we first moved in the summer. And of course, we didn't go onto their land because we didn't want to trespass. One night, my daughter and her friend were camping in the backyard and ran inside.
Off rip, that's a red flag, bro. What are you doing? And you and your friends, the non-colored people, are camping outside in the yard, bro. If you don't just stay in the house, common sense.
Swearing that they heard a kid laughing or crying in our backyard. I figured it was their imagination from too many scary stories.
Another thing too, bro, if your parents or somebody is saying, I think I heard a kid crying or laughing, bro, you want to say, oh, honey, it's just your imagination. Go back to bed. Now that just makes it like, now we all finna die because you didn't think it was a kid laughing in the backyard.
In the tent, but went out to investigate briefly just in case. I heard a faint noise coming from just beyond our property line. I moved the flashlight into the general direction and called out to whoever may be in the trees. The sound stopped.
Some for y'all dummies in the horror movies, bro. What makes you think a serial killer, when you ask, hey, who's there, is just gonna pop out and say hello? Like, bro, no,
I decided it was probably just a couple of stray cats, but just in case, I had the girls set up the tent in the living room. The next day, after taking my daughter's friend home, curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to investigate the area by our property line. As I neared the line of trees, I saw a small path I had never noticed before. Since I knew my neighbors were too far and the trees were too thick, they couldn't see me on their property, so I stepped onto the small path. I walked slowly, looking down, watching for poison ivy and fallen branches. I wasn't too far in when I saw a dirty, broken kid's toy on the ground, wrapped in overgrown weeds. I looked up, and in the distance I saw a small, white shed-like structure.
If she go in that shed, bro, I hope whoever wants to eat her or find her just eats her and just demolish her. I'm talking about no evidence left, just eats her, bro. I really do if she go in that shed.
As I got closer, there were more and more toys scattered on the ground, some partially buried, all broken and dirty. Then there was barbed wire, and I could see the front of the shed and realized it was a large playhouse with a wooden alphabet decorating the outside. I was starting to feel uneasy. This playhouse was at least half a mile or more from the only house on the property. I stopped in my tracks, letting my imagination go a little, when I felt a tap on my shoulder. I must have jumped a foot off the ground, only to turn around and see that my daughter had followed me. Once my heart slowed down, I decided to get a closer look. There was more broken barbed wire.
So now you and your daughter for the going. Bro, the daughter looks at least 9 or 7. In between, no, 6 and 7. Like, bro, y'all both gonna die.
Fencing on the ground, the closer we got. The window on the side was broken, and there was a hole in the roof. There was a broken train set, one a kid would be able to ride on. The front door had a white piece of wood set to lock someone in, not keep people out. At this point, my daughter was in full panic mode and begging for us to walk back to our house.
Bro, listen to your daughter. Your daughter is smarter than you. She's like 7, bro. Come on, Jessica and Isabella and Emily, whatever their names be.
But I had to at least look through the window, or my mind would wander with all the possibilities of what could be in there. As I was stepping to the side of the shed, my daughter—
Now I feel like a dummy, bro. That daughter is at least like in her teens. I feel slow now. Yeah, my fault. I thought she was like 7.
Was following close behind. In her fear, she was paying more attention to me than where she was stepping, and she cut her leg pretty deep on some barbed wire that was hidden in overgrowth. I
Leave the
quickly glanced
area.
inside the window, only to see a partially dirt floor and broken wood and a large wooden bench with a dark stain on top. I picked up my daughter, who was determined her leg was going to fall off. We left the neighbor's property and I took her to the doctor to get a tetanus shot and get her cleaned up. That night after dinner, I let the dog out, but couldn't get her to come back in. I let her stay outside for a while and checked again a little later. Our dog still wouldn't come in, and I noticed she was standing by the path we took earlier. I grabbed a flashlight and her leash and headed out to her. She was pacing, whining, and sniffing around everywhere. I figured it was from the blood earlier, but she never ventured onto the path. Then, I heard the giggling of a little girl. I called
got
out to the
OD chills
child,
right
but
now
there was
listening to
no
this, bro.
answer in return. Just some rustling in the leaves. I ran inside with the dog to check on my daughter to make sure that she was still in the house. She was laying in bed, fast asleep. The next morning, I went straight to the playhouse, but as I was approaching, something was wrong. The broken toys seemed to be in different places, and when I got to the playhouse, my heart felt like it was a ton of bricks. All over the side of the playhouse were children's drawings, in my daughter's
I
blood.
beg your pardon? What? They just gonna end it off like that? I ain't gonna lie, I messed with that, bro. That was hard.
Thank
That's
you for
hard,
sticking
bro.
around to the end of the video.